As we prepare for more winter weather, we wanted to help get you ready for the Arctic blast.
Yeah, we're taking a closer look at tips you need to know this winter. Throughout this special, we're going to be looking at ways to protect yourself and your wallet.
A running faucet is usually a wasteful sign, but with freezing and sometimes sub-zero temperatures expected for parts of the country this winter, some people say a dripping faucet may actually be a good thing to prevent pipes from freezing. So let's verify.
Can letting your faucets drip prevent pipes from bursting in cold weather?
Our sources are the American Red Cross, Mississippi State University, the Building Research Council at the University of Illinois, and Austin Water. When water freezes, it expands, so stagnant water in a pipe during freezing temperatures, typically when it's 20 degrees or colder, could cause enough pressure to make the pipe burst. Our sources say you can prevent this from happening by keeping the water flowing, even if it's just a drip, because moving water is harder to freeze. It doesn't even need to be a lot of water. Just a slow trickle is enough to do the trick. Our sources recommend opening the faucet that's furthest from your meter because this will help keep the water flowing throughout your home.
So, yes, letting your faucets drip can prevent pipes from bursting in cold weather.
You can also add insulation to your pipes or turn off your water and then drain your system so there's no water left in the pipes that could freeze. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
Centers across northwest Arkansas and Fort Smith have been preparing for nights like Sunday for a while, including Seven Hills and Salvation Army.
So during the day, we will be open at Potter's House, which is the Jefferson School. We'll be open from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. there. People can come inside. We'll have meals there. They can bring their pets there. From 6 p.m. to 6 a.m., we will transition people over to Genesis Church. They will stay there overnight.
We open up additional space so that those who are experiencing homelessness in the area, it gives them an extra place to go when the weather gets this bad.
Last winter was one of the coldest we've had in years. However, warming centers had a very high success rate, and they hope to do the same again this year.
Well, last year we didn't have anyone pass away due to the cold weather, so that was a big gain for us. It was a big learning experience for us because it was 9 straight days, and it was kind of trial by fire last year. And so this year, we've put a lot of effort into it. We've had a lot of planning. We have that experience from last year, and this year we anticipate things to run really smooth.
This isn't anything new for us. We shelter 365 days a year, so all it causes us to do is increase our capacity.
And these warming centers can hold quite a few people.
We have about 46 beds here in Fayetteville, and we can increase that to 66.
I think last year one day we had 120, so it was anywhere from 80 to 100 and so every day.
And their ultimate goal is to serve those who would be sleeping outside without them.
We always want to make sure that there's plenty of room at the inn. Don't want to turn anyone away as long as we have safe space for them to be.
In Fayetteville, covering news where you live, Parker Abels, 5 News.
Frigid winter temperatures are here, and with record high energy prices, you might think twice before cranking up the heat. So we looked into some common questions about whether things people do to stay warm are really a hot idea. First up, does turning your thermostat way up heat your home faster? Our sources are the U.S. Department of Energy, the Environmental Protection Agency, Black Hills Energy, and HVAC maker Glen Dimplex. Furnaces have just 2 settings, on and off. They rely on a thermostat to know how long to stay on. Cranking the temperature up from 60 to 70 will only make your furnace run longer, but it won't heat your home any faster because it only has 1 setting, on, whether it's trying to increase the temperature 1 degree or 10 degrees. So no, turning the thermostat way up won't heat your home any faster. Next up, can window treatments help save you money? The Energy Department estimates in an average home, 1/3 of heat is lost through the windows. You can prevent some of that from happening by keeping the drapes or shades closed at night because they act as an extra layer of insulation between your home and the windows. This helps keep up to 10% more heat inside your home, which can lower your energy bill. So, yes, window treatments can help save you money. Finally, ceiling fans are a great way to stay cool, but can they also help keep your home warm? In the summer, you should set your fans to rotate counterclockwise to blow air down. This helps sweat evaporate and makes you feel cooler. In the winter, the Energy Department recommends reversing your fan so it spins clockwise and then using the lowest setting. This pulls up the cool air and displaces warm air that's near the ceiling. So, yes, ceiling fans can help keep your home warm. we featured even more answers to questions about staying warm this winter on verifythis.com. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
And with these freezing temperatures, electric company crews have their technicians on call in case of any winter weather problems. Black Hills Energy also reminding people to keep gas meters clear. Don't run a generator indoors and check your carbon monoxide and smoke detectors. In the case of heavy usage, Black Hills has stored natural gas underground. Spokesperson for OG&E says on November 1st, they weatherized all their power plants to withstand these cold temperatures. They've also automated their circuits to reroute in the case of an overload.
In the summertime, when usually natural gas prices are a little less expensive, we're able to inject gas underground. And then in the wintertime, when demand goes up, we're able to take that out of our underground storage facilities in central Arkansas and transport that gas up to our customers in northwest Arkansas.
Both companies offer financial assistance through LIHEAP or even some rebates.
Whenever there is even a slight hint of wintry precipitation or a really cold dip in the jet stream to affect us temperature-wise, we start preparing as if the worst is going to come, and we rejoice if the best happens.
That means pulling equipment indoors and using chemicals to keep fuel from gelling. And as for the roads?
We have our blades hooked up. We have a good supply of salt and chemicals, and we're ready to treat the roads and scrape the roads if we need to.
While officials like James are busy prepping for winter weather, you can do the same for your own vehicle. Darian Coleman is a Little Rock mechanic who says there's a few things that are easy to check that can save you a big headache come wintertime.
Make sure you got proper antifreeze, proper oil levels, and also check those tires because those tires will deflate in this cold weather.
Coleman says if you don't know how to check your tire pressure or antifreeze or oil levels, it's best to have it done by a professional. He says winter can also be the ideal time to finally replace that car battery.
Normally, if your battery is about 3 to 4 years old, it's about time to replace it, and you might experience a slow start. So go ahead and get that battery replaced before it gets too cold.
Of course, when the winter weather gets dangerous, it's best to stay off the roads. But if you have to go out, here's some things to keep in your car for an emergency kit. Make sure you keep the gas tank full in case you get stuck on the road longer than you anticipated. Next, be sure to have jumper cables, a first aid kit, charger, flashlight, flares, snacks, and some water. Don't forget items to stay warm: boots, mittens, hats, a blanket, and a snow shovel.
Nobody enjoys driving in a freezing cold car, so it's understandable that many drivers like to let their cars warm up for a few minutes before hitting the road. Others are concerned about damaging their cars by driving with a cold engine. Some vehicles even have remote start features that make this easier, but one Verify viewer reached out to ask if warming their car could actually damage their engine. So, let's verify. Our sources are the U.S. Department of Energy, Firestone Complete Auto Care, Smart Motors Toyota in Madison, Wisconsin,
Chuck's Auto Repair in Seattle,
and Napa Auto Parts. Gas-powered cars need oil to keep their engines lubricated.
Chuck's Auto Repair explains when the engine is cold, gas may not evaporate completely as it combines with the air. This may lead to excess fuel in the chamber, which causes some of it to condense into the cylinder walls and strip away the lubricating oil.
Our sources say this leads to more friction, which causes wear and tear and could eventually shorten the life of your engine. Instead, our sources recommend driving about 30 seconds after starting your car because the engine will warm up faster when the car is being driven. In the past, cars needed to warm up for several minutes to avoid stalling because they used a carburetor. Nearly all cars built in the last 30 years now use electronics to ensure engines get the right combination of air and fuel to run no matter what the temperature is outside. So, yes, warming your car could damage the engine. There is one exception. If you drive an electric vehicle, you may want to warm up your car before unplugging it because heating the cabin uses battery power, which can shorten your range. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
Charles Fisk never goes a single workday without wearing the same thing on his head.
This hat, trademark, I guess you would say.
He's been cleaning fireplaces for about 30 years in Texas, so he knows a little thing or two about chimneys.
This I bought from a German chimney sweep. It's going to go all the way up the chimney and the creosote, the black stuff, is going to come down.
Each winter, his business starts booming with people breaking out their fireplaces for the first time in a while after blazing Texas summers. But before they do, he's there to clean this stuff out.
Creosote is the black stuff that you can see on your fireplace and the bottom of the fireplace.
He says if the creosote is not cleaned out after about every 50 fires, house fires can spark rapidly.
All of a sudden you'll hear a roar like a train where it goes, and that means all the air is sucked out of the room and going up.
After the previous winter storms, Fisk says it's more important than ever to check your fireplace, as they might have gotten a little more use than normal.
Some people used it, 24 hours a day because they didn't have electricity.
But if a fire does spark, the first thing he says to do is call 911 and then shut the damper on the fireplace.
And if you cut the oxygen off, there is no fire.
And with these tips, Fisk says there's a better chance your fires will stay where they're supposed to, inside the fireplace.
Widespread snow is expected, which means a lot of shoveling for millions of Americans in its path, prompting warnings about an increased risk for heart attacks. So, let's verify. Are you at an increased risk of a heart attack while shoveling snow? Our sources are the American Heart Association, the Cleveland Clinic, and cardiologist Dr. Mark Samsky. Anyone who shoveled snow knows it's hard work, and all of our sources say it could quickly bring up your heart to its maximum rate.
When the heart's not primed to handle that blood pressure or the increase in heart rate, it can do some damage and as a result of the strain on the heart.
That strain could increase anyone's risk of a heart attack, but especially for people with heart conditions or who are older than 45 and may have an undiagnosed heart condition, have high blood pressure, high cholesterol, or diabetes, because they're at an increased risk of heart problems. Our sources recommend pacing yourself when shoveling snow. This may mean shoveling periodically during the storm instead of doing it all once the storm is over, taking frequent breaks, and staying hydrated to maintain a healthy blood pressure. So, yes, you are at an increased risk of a heart attack while shoveling snow. Using a snowblower is less intense than shoveling, but it can also be very heavy to push, which means it can still increase your risk of a heart attack. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
Well, thanks for joining us. And while you're here on 5 Plus, be sure to check out all of our free on-demand content.
You can also watch live newscast on your schedule. So stay safe, stay warm, and thanks for joining us.